A very good afternoon from very dreary Bells Hill, North Lanarkshire. It's Saturday, the 11th of December, and no real changes in the overall ideas that I've got for milder, followed by colder towards the end of the month and the week running up to Christmas. We have got an area of low pressure that's fairly strong at the moment south of Greenland, southwest of Iceland here at 947 millibars. The associated frontal system is now moving into the UK, bringing this very dreary Saturday afternoon indeed. And we have got milder air coming in as well with that feature here. With high pressure to the southeast, low pressure to the northwest, we have got that southwesterly airflow. We're starting to see temperatures creeping into the low and will eventually even reach the mid-teens, I think, during Sunday afternoon and the Monday here. But as that frontal system moves into the southern half of Scandinavia, where we're seeing the temperatures recover somewhat here after the extremes of the last week or so, we've got a feature here developing at the base of the trough that is going to rapidly deepen as it moves northeastwards, and it's going to bring a short-lived spell of very, very windy conditions, particularly so parts of the Republic, Northern Ireland, and the western and northern Isles of Scotland, as well as the northwest mainland. We could see gusts in excess of 80 miles an hour and exposure for a short period of time, because that system is going to rattle on northwards right the way up towards the Arctic region as we go into the new working week. Then another feature comes in over the top of the area of high pressure centered over southern and central Europe here. We've got southwesterly winds, so we're continuing to plug into some much milder conditions than we've seen in recent times here. The Atlantic remaining fairly loaded, fairly active, fairly stormy, but notice here that that area of high pressure over southern Europe starts to expand, and with time, as we push towards the middle portion of the month, we will start to see that area of high pressure become likely established over the north of the UK. So briefly, we shut down that southwesterly wind. We may even have a period of northeasterly winds as that area of high pressure becomes centred to the north of the British Isles here. Then it kind of sinks southwards. This is, of course, one GFS model run. There is going to always be little changes here and there, but the overall emphasis will become on high pressure becoming firmly established over the UK during the middle portion of the period here. So really from about the 15th through the 20th, high pressure will be the mainstay. And this has been in the forecast, folks, both in the December outlook as well as the winter forecast, that high pressure and even milder conditions will become established here. One thing I would say is if high pressure centres right over the UK, which I think it will, don't necessarily assume that's going to be warm, because we could have warmer, a scenario where there's warmer in the mid and upper levels, or the mid levels, should I say, of the atmosphere, but with cold, clear skies at night, that cold air that builds up during the overnight period becomes somewhat trapped beneath that warm layer at, say, 850 millibars. So you could even find that some chilly nights become very chilly days, and fog will become more of an issue, I think, as we go forward with these kind of stagnant air masses that kind of establish themselves over a given area for a period of time here. And then, of course, the big question becomes the period between the 20th and the 25th of December. Where does the area of high pressure go? I think even if it stays over the UK in the days leading up to Christmas, I think that becomes quite a chilly air mass overall, because what you get is the feedback of that warmth trapping the cold underneath here. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what takes place here as we go forward here. Looking at this is off the GFS ensemble here, upcoming 5-day period, firmly in a mode where we've got high pressure to the southeast, low pressure up towards Iceland, and of course that is a very mild theme indeed. Then as we go into the period, the 6 to 10, which is of course the 16th through the 21st, and the ensemble is now starting to see that area of high pressure lifting northwards here, and this is the idea that I have, that we start to see this high kind of starting to build northwards here. And of course, that is the big question. Where does the air mass come from once that area of high pressure starts to shift from over the UK to probably north of the UK? We may start to see our winds coming in from our northeasterly direction here as we go forward. Now, if you notice here, very different, of course. We have now the positive to the north of the UK as opposed to the negative here. And we also keep our eyes on the North Pacific, because there's an area of high pressure that is seen by the model trying to track northwards. And is it possible that we start to see these two areas of high pressure hooking up? And then we'll start to see the trough over Eastern Europe start to kind of retrograde underneath that area of high pressure towards the UK. That is going to be, of course, the big question. Remember, folks, I have said milder follows the stormy. And then, of course, once we get that mild high pressure theme, I believe that we are going to turn colder towards the week running up to Christmas. Now, at this very moment in time, I don't want to call for an extreme cold spell, but I do believe it will be a colder spell, a colder than normal period in that time frame here. Now, remember as well that I highlighted that we may pull out of that colder pattern towards the beginning of January here. That is also, of course, big question marks, but this is the idea generally that I've got, that we turn colder towards the end of the month. And I think there is the possibility of something extreme, but at the same time, it may be a kind of modest cold spell here. So I'm not going to get too carried away with regards to the severity of anything that we do see coming towards the end of the month here. But the upcoming 5-day period, it's seen warmer than normal across Europe. As you can see here, the 6 to 10-day period, you start to see the warmth building towards the north. And finally, in the 11 to, or the 12 to 16, should I say, you have a fairly chilly southern half of Europe and extending into Ireland and the British Isles as well. That colder than normal in the period between the 22nd and the 27th of December here. So I'm pretty happy with overall the way the pattern is shaping up and what the models are indicating as well. Arctic oscillation, you can see here, is indicating towards more positive than, or negative, should I say, rather than positive. There is a bit of a spread. There is some members, of course, indicating a positive Arctic oscillation, but I think the general emphasis will be on a negative Arctic oscillation, and the North Atlantic oscillation as well is showing the same idea. That is much more firmer on being negative into the time frame that I have for the coming of colder weather towards the end of the month here. So overall, I'm quite happy with the way things are shaping up. And of course, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe to the channel for the very latest. And I'll see you again in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.